getting on to it, don't they?
Yeah,
Well, you know, it's not bad if you just finish it.
well, yeah, but what's he going to do with that?
Well, I think he ran out of money.
Well,
He had some good ideas there. Well, kind of crazy ideas, but it's better than nothing. Fixed
yeah,
it
but
up.
it's big.
Yeah, you live back down this way, of
down
course.
this
Right.
Yeah, I remember you used to deliver down here in this area. You was down in this area.
It's the same street we come up.
Uh-huh.
Reevy Golden's place.
Yep.
That was Pratt's, having the filling station.
Fred's.
Pratt. This was used to be Reevy's.
Did he own that one down there across from the Civic Center? Pratt?
The Civic Center.
Or that, you know, the Emmett.
No,
No,
he owned one in Clarksburg.
Oh, in Clarksburg.
Yeah, over there on the, I don't know, forget what street it is. They're way out there next to that hamburger place. What is it? Arby's.
See, Jack Goodwin lived right there, didn't he?
Yeah,
For a
that
while.
big two-story house.
Yep.
And I built that little house behind there, that little brick, and he lived in that for 20 years. Then when he retired, he moved out there along the creek.
The old Jack, I remember Jack. I bought all those antiques out of the
Yeah.
old Goodwin house out there.
I lived in that second house there.
Yep. I remember.
Been there since 1933.
This one right here, huh?
Yeah.
How many years you live there?
33, 40, 67, 78 will be. Well, look, I got a lot of pretty flowers there, haven't I?
Yes, you have. What are you going to do with it?
Well, my grandson's supposed to mow the grass. I don't know.
You got is that your place, garage apartment behind it?
Yeah,
I'll be darned. Yeah. Pretty nice.
yeah, 4 garages back there.
Well, that was convenient, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, well I need.
And you had a nice lathe right here.
Yeah,
You remember that when the tornado hit this house and tore it up?
yeah.
That was late football. Steve Helmick's house.
Yeah, Helmick.
Yeah. And then the Batmans owned that.
Yeah,
He died. Well, he was a nice guy.
yeah. He's moved out of Lake Ridge. She did. I think her daughter lives out there on a little farm right next to Lake Ridge.
Yeah, the Henrys lived right there when I was
Yeah.
a kid.
You don't remember that barn you just had there, do you?
You know, I got a picture of it. It shows up in that picture that it shows your wife sitting on the porch over there. You know, up on the porch, and you can look over and you can see that barn sitting in the bottom.
Well,
See that gray house right there?
which one?
The one right there, the only house left.
Yeah.
That's in the picture.
Well, that's the old Jones property. Bridgeport Planing Mill Company built that house,
Okay.
and he built one up on the end of Grand Avenue, and they built one up on Gordon Street, just like it. Only they've changed the porch.
Well, the old barn used to sit over there. There was a picture taken with your wife sitting on the porch right there with her dress on there when she was a kid.
Yeah. This used to be a lumber company there.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, old timer, you better get off the road.
Why, you gonna run over me?
How's it going?
You know Mr. Paul Whiteman?
How you doing, Paul?
Okay, how
Good
are
to see
you?
you, sir.
He's giving me a little history lesson here.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Are you learning?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the planing mill used to be right there at the bottom. Right down along the creek. I can understand it. Because I saw the water one time come clear up here to this street.
Oh, did you?
From here to the railroad. Stop right there. It was up in the street.
It was up in here. That's when they had 1924 flood,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
they had a veterinary store there, or a millinery store there. It was about the size of that building.
Yep.
It washed the foundation on it and fell down the creek and dammed up the water. Now here's where the hill used to be.
Yep. This is the hill.
Yep.
And this is where I think that they set the camera up to shoot those kids between that house and this store. The camera was sitting right over there, shooting right over here.
Yeah.
This is where that photo, all them people were standing, standing right in here.
Yeah, well, there used to be a great big two-story, nice looking
Big house right there,
steep
huh?
roof right there where that, on that corner. O.E. Corder lived in it. I don't know who built it originally. It was there when I was born.
Well, Curry was over there on that stand, and Cutlip was over there, and they took those pictures that night over here, and all those floats were going by right here, and all those kids were standing on the hillside right here, and there was these 2 houses right in here. Was there 3 houses in a row here? The old one, and then these 2?
Well, that and back there, then there was a pretty good gap between them. These
Now-
two up here are pretty close together.
When did they tear the filling station down? And put the filling station and tear that old house down. 1955.
This year?
Yeah.
I'd say around that time, but I wasn't sure.
Well, in those photos, you can see part of an old house over there. So apparently the filling station wasn't there in 1954. Not
Oh,
yet.
I doubt it. Now that's the D.L. Curry store.
This is D.L. Curry's store,
Yeah.
and then it became the A&P.
Yeah, no, the N.P. was over
I mean,
there.
yeah, A&P was
In
over
that
there.
center part of that Saguenay.
Then this is a pure
Right
food.
down along the creek there, there was a little boarding up down the house, and that was the old telephone company. And
Yeah,
after-
right down in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't say I'd kept from morsing away, but
Well, you shot a picture, or was that your dad shot that picture with the cops standing over there?
I think my father shot that picture, 1925.
25. This was the pure food store.
Right here was a meat market. There was a little store there, right on the corner.
Meat market, yeah.
Yeah, and well, it became a tire shop in later years. And here's where the old mill used
Yeah,
to sit.
Sandusky Mill set right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You come that hill, boy, they've got
They fixed it up pretty good.
metal steps up there now.
Yes, they did.
Shoot, we didn't use the steps in there. We went up the cliff.
Now this house here, this big house,
It belonged to Dr. Folk.
how old do you think that house is?
I wouldn't know, but Dr. Folk, when I was a little boy, I remember the first time I went there, I cut my foot on clay, went barefooted.
Huh?
Cut my foot. They brought me down in a little toy wagon there to see him.
I was such a bad boy that my mother took me in there to see him and checked me out and see if I was a mental retard.
Oh,
I can remember.
old Doc Folk said, well, he'd look up there on one side of his wall, there's about 15, 20 brown jugs that hold about a gallon, but they'd only be about, 3 inches of pills in the bottom of the jug.
Dr. Folk, huh?
F-O-L-K.
Did he own that Folk building, or is that Folk building back
That's
here?
the Folk building. He owned that. Had
He
it
owned
built.
that too, huh?
Had it built.
Wonder when this building was put in.
Well, that's a new building there. That's a metal building. There was a wood one there.
Yeah, wonder when that old building was.
That old building was there when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think it was there before
They hit the
1900.
bottom, had a garage there too for years.
Oh yeah, I got a picture of that.
Yeah.
Wonder when they built this here.
Oh, gee. I don't know.
Well-
I'd say it was,
Catherine Clark said she built it.
well, I thought Sam Steele built it.
Well, I don't know about this.
But there used to be a house sitting right here in the corner.
Yeah, I wonder what this house did.
I don't know, but it was just no paint on it. All the paint was gone.
Yeah.
It was built getting a walk there and getting a walk here.
Well, it's supposed to be owned by the Johnsons.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, but I can't tell you that.
Let me turn
for
around
sure.
here. I want to ask you a couple really good questions
There used
right
to be a
here.
log house set right there.
Yep, that's where it used to
set
sit.
sort of diagonal like this.
And that's where the black guy had a
Barbers in the front of it. They built a sort of a glassed-in porch, and that's where he had his barber shop in there.
What was his name?
Russ Mead lived
Russ?
out there on the creek, you know.
Yeah, Russ Mead. That guy lived out there.
Russell was his name. He used to, at the meat shop, you know, they had a big chopping block, or what they cut meat on, you know, about that thick and about 4 foot square. And he used to stop, he had bird dogs. He always kept 2, sometimes 3. And he'd stop there at the meat shop and get the scrap box. Ends of bolognas and everything, they just throwed scrap. He'd get that box, go out the street. He got it for his dogs, but he'd be a picking to it, eating part of it.
Oh.
That's what I remember about Russ.
But what year do you think he had his shop in there?
Well, let's see, I was going to school. I know I got in a fight with his grandson down there behind the old post office, and he looked out the window and saw it, and he came down and he grabbed me with the seat of the pants and the shoulder, just slung me, and I just went like that for about 10 feet.
Pulled you off him, huh?
Yeah.
So 1930s, you think?
Oh, that's before that. I was married in 1930. That'd be about 19 and 18 or 20.
Now, how long before you think that was tore down?
Oh, that'd been gone for a long time. Gee whiz.
Was
I'd
it tore
say-
down before World War II?
Yes.
tore down before World War II.
There used to be two sidings. There, one siding on the other side. It fit those. There's a block factory and a couple buildings over there, and on this side there was two sided. There's a big boarded up down depot there, just boarded up and down.
Now
Big building.
you was telling me you used to see old J.C. Johnson standing up there on his porch, huh?
This used to be a Viking filling station here. That was our gas office right there.
That was your gas office right there, that little building.
And they had a pipe rail around there, like that. When it was went clear over to beat the wall. And he used to sit up there on that porch and put his arms on that. And he had a beard.
Big white beard, yeah.
He'd look down here. And we was always there at noon. We'd come out there and sit. If we was working in the shop, we'd come out there and sit maybe a half hour. And he'd watch us. Oh, J.C. Johnson.
Yeah, he was a Civil War spy.
That's right.
For the South, yeah.
Yeah.
He went to college too.
Yeah.
Yep, old J.C.
And that was his daughter there. She lived there. She married a Patton.
Patton. So that's how that was. His daughter married a Patton.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll be darned. Wonder what her name was.
Oh my.
Yeah, it'd be a hard one to get.
I've heard, but I forget.
So that's how the connection with the Pattons was. I never did understand how that happened.
Yeah, well, that J.C., that was his daughter lived there, and he lived up there with her.
Yep, he built that house, I understand, in 1874 or 3.
I expect something near that. But yeah, these used to be trains on this old steam engine on these sidings. There's always one there.
Always one here.
Yeah, there's two sidings on this side and one on this side.
Yep. Wonder what, that's the old hotel used to sit on the bank. Wonder when that went. It burned. It's supposed to caught on fire and burned up.
Down. They call it the Freeze Hotel.
Well, when I have a picture of it, it says commercial hotel on it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be sitting right where the old log cabin used to be, right here.
Right on this
We're
corner.
sitting right where the old log cabin went up to New York State Park.
Up there's where John Duncan lived.
John Duncan up there, huh?
Yeah, that's the old Duncan property, and his sister told you lived back behind there, and that with that big cupola on it.
And the old warehouse used to sit right over there.
Yeah, in that corner.
Right in this corner right here.
No, over there.
Over in that corner.
Not where that.
And they kept them cows in there when I was a kid. They drove them down for the stock pen because I'd have to wait. My dad would wait for the farmers to push them cows down the street here across the river tracks.
Gee whiz.
They were crapping all over everything.
Yeah. Oh, they used to. I remember they'd drive herd of them in here because this was the largest shipping point in northern West Virginia at one time.
Oh, was that right?
Yes, sir. Cattle shipping, and all that was cattle pens up there on the other side. Not where the depot went up. Pens. They'd drive in here, their tongue would be hanging out a foot. It would be so dry, yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd pick them up, I don't know.
Where would they actually drive them from? Outside of
Out
town?
in the country, I don't know. They'd pick them up between here and Grafton. I reckon sometimes as many as 100 head. And they'd load them at night, and they'd come in that after the fill the pens, they'd come in.
Yeah, fill the pens.
And load them, you could hear the old steam engine. I'd be in bed, go chick, chick, chick. And then they'd...
I wonder who built that house right there.
Mary Lamb.
Mary Lamb.
I think Short's grandfather built it. He lived there in that house.
Where the city manager lives now.
I don't know.
That's where the city manager lives.
Is it?
Haas.
Well, that's where he lived. My wife's grandfather, before he moved out where the Catholic Church is, he bought that out there. But Mary Lamb lived there for years and years, but I don't know whether she built it or not.
Well, that's a pretty neat house.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
Because his C.L. Lawson lived there, and his daughter lived up on the hill behind this house. First house up the hill.
There's another one up there like that.
Well, see, he had a block factory right across the creek.
Oh,
there.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
That's why it's the block house. He bought those block special and brought them in here.
Yeah.
And if you look up here, there's the other one right. It's up there. It's another one built up there like it.
Yeah, there
it's painted white. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Virgie. Virgie was.
Yeah, you can see it.
There's a barn set where that red truck is.
There it is. The block one up there, painted white. Yep.
Yeah. And there's a barn right there where that red truck is. Used to be a pretty good sized barn.
Yep, right there. Now this here It's down here is where the old Sandusky, or the old mill was.
I played football down in this bottom Ferris Acres.
Did you?
Yeah.
They had the high school football field down here?
Yeah. But you know what they did?
Huh.
They'd go down there or something, I don't know, they had volunteers take their hand with alignment, put a string out, and then align it with their hand this way. Then they'd go down there wasn't no bleachers or anything.
Put a little lime and make the marks with their hands.
Make the markers, and then we'd go down there and play.
I think the mill set right back in there, didn't it?
On down a little farther.
Yeah, down in here.
About where that house is, I think.
I would say somewhere right about in. Boy, it's a big mill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About where that house was at, huh?
Something near that, yes.
Right in there somewhere.
Right in there. Pretty close.
It's Cindy Fernandez's house now.
This is where Benedum worked. Michael Benedum.
Where what?
Michael Benedum worked in that mill.
Oh yes.
Yep, he sure did.
Yeah, right here's where I played football.
This was the football field right here.
Yeah, that was called Ferris Acres. It was Ferris.
This is the actual football field?
Yeah. It was just a pasture field.
Did you run up and down through here?
Yeah.
Score any touchdowns?
Me? No, I played an end.
You played the end.
I don't know whether I ever scored or not. Don't remember. But I played an end. But this was all open. There was just a pasture field. There was a house way back here on the end of it.
That is a pretty good sized bottom in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, there was a big house that used to sit up on the hill up there. I wonder whatever happened to it.
That belonged to the Hurry. Captain Hurry. He was a captain in the Civil War.
I wonder if it's still, is that it right there?
No, it's gone.
It's gone, yeah.
It's gone.
Captain Hurry.
Where that church is, that Bethel church is, that's where he lived.
Yep. We're getting some good information there, huh, Michelle?
Mm-hmm.
The old football field.
I remember Captain Hurry used to drive his buggy downtown to the post office. I never followed him to see where else he went, but I used to see his buggy
This is all kind of an open field in here, huh?
He never rode his horse. A lot of them rode horseback, down to get the mail or something. But I never saw him on a horseback, but I saw him in his buggy.
He was a Civil War veteran, huh?
Yeah.
Captain Hurry. I'll be darned. That's neat.
Yeah. And this belonged to the Brown there.
This property here?
This on the right, when it was before these apartments.
Mrs. Brown?
I don't know who owns it now.
The Browns?
All these apartments. Yeah, the original Brown property.
Well, we're going to take you back. Are you ready to go back?
Hey, Richard, will you take me to your house first, please?
Oh, okay. We'll take you to your house.
Down here where the high school is, used to be Heyman's Greenhouse. There was about 3 or 4 big buildings. From glass there, from about where those cars are, clear back pretty close to the creek. Big glass buildings. Heyman Greenhouse in Clarksburg.
There was a greenhouse in here?
Big greenhouse. I mean, there's 4 buildings. 3 or 4.
Right in through here.
Yeah,
huh?
they went from here back to the creek.
Well, I never knew that.
Yes, sir.
Well, when was that, you think?
Well, wait a minute, John Ritter lived there, and that was way back World War I time, and a little while after, but I'm not sure just when it went out.
There were big glass greenhouses in there, and were they owned by the Steeles?
Heyman Greenhouse Company.
Heyman, oh.
Yeah, they had a store in Clarksburg.
I'll be darned.
Over on, let's see, what is that, 4th Street, where Candyland is? Is that 4th, 3rd?
Yeah, I think that's 4th Street to Candyland.
Well, that's where it was, on that street up there, about halfway up on the right side.
Well, I'll be darned. That's really good information about that property. I never knew there was a greenhouse.
Dr. Davis down there at Bridgeport, he's the one that owned all this Pearson land. This about 110 acres right here.
He owned it all, huh?
Red Pearson, they bought it from Virginia. That's Dr. Davis's daughter. Dr. Davis inherited from his father.
Davis owned all this. Davises were big in Bridgeport at one time.
Yeah.
They built those 2 big log cabins, the one down Orchard Street. And yep, I got to take Michelle home here, and then I'll be taking you home, okay?
All right.
Yeah, this was really a lot of good information that, nobody would know. I don't think anybody else would know. Who else could I ask?
I don't know. Of course, this was out in the country, when I worked for the gas company. 1930. 29. Hey, it was...
Dr. Goki used to live right there.
Yeah, no, he did. That last one down there. Yeah.
I used to come up there when I was a kid in 1960.
I had a gas hole right back in there.
Oh, did you?
About 75 yards or something matter back there. And a couple of old bastards lived there named Pinkards. Pinkards. Some name, but they were old bastards. They lived there in a little old house.
I remember the guy that lived there built that house all by himself. Built it all by himself.
Oh, I know who lives there now. Let's see if I can think. Gee whiz. Can't think of his name.
James Street.
Yeah, the SO station down there.
Wonder who built all these.
Hinkle, a woman, built most of these, especially these on down to here.
There you go, a woman, huh?
A woman. She was a contractor. She had a man working for her.
Isn't that something, huh?
Most all these down along here, yeah.
That's where Mrs. Kenny lives.
That's one of the original.
Kenny's back there.
Yeah, back there. Down there, this store and a half for Jim Courtney built it.
Yep, of course.
My father built that Treehouse over there way back. I don't know.
This one?
Yeah, Aunt Mary Davison's son. She owned all that land here. And she lived out here on Philadelphia Avenue. That first old two-story house up there on this side.
We used to go and buy a lot of groceries at Helmick's there when I was a kid, or younger, 1970s.
Yeah.
Helmick's Grocery.
There's the old Brown property was up right there.
Old Brown property.
She owned all that where those apartments are and all. She's an old maid.
Well, Mrs. Brown lived back in there when we were. She had a nice house back in there, but I'm not too. She's from Flemington or something.
Oh.
Back when I was younger. She went down to Catholic Church.
See, and Dr. Davis come over here and bought this house, this gray one. He lived there a while, then moved back, and he sold this to Lyle Jones. He was an attorney. His son and the man lived in that big three-story.
Okay, all right. I understand it now. Because when you was telling me down there at the other house, I wasn't sure what house you meant up there. That old house over there was the old Newsomes, yeah.
They wasn't the original, but that's the last old person I remember.
Newsom property.
That wasn't the original name. That wasn't the original people, but Newsomes had it for several years.
Well, Michelle, you think you got most of that on tape?
Let's hope so.
What?
I hope so. He was taping all that.